Okay, so this is like a Lilith brainstorming video, pretty much. I don't even know why I didn't even think of doing or starting with Lilith. Sorry, there's a hair in my mouth. Starting with Lilith in the first place, because she's one of the archetypes in astrology that is either not talked about or is feared to be talked about. Feared, or people are, they see something in their chart and they're just like, fuck, I don't want to look at that. I don't know what that means. Like, I've heard of Lilith, like in the Bible, or I've heard of, Lilith themes, Lilith stories. Like, I know the story and she's a bitch. Like, I don't want to know what that means. Like, whatever. But what's so crazy is that we have these traditional views on how we should perceive women in religious texts. And of course, when you hear the same story over and over and over again, and you hear these characters being depicted in certain ways, we get numb to like the imagery that's being used, and we just automatically assume that Lilith is demon. She is gonna eat your babies or whatever. But all Lilith didn't want to do was be beneath the man that she was committed to. She wanted to be considered as an equal, and he said, nope, nah, no, you're gonna be below. I'm up here, you're down here. Hello, it's 2016. Women now, we're conquering so much and doing so many badass things, and we are, thankfully, everyone else is growing to accept that women are equals. We are, hello, Mother Nature. We are gonna change the world, and we are thankfully receiving the recognition that is not been acknowledged, or we are thankfully receiving the recognition that we did not get previously in earlier decades, such as women not being allowed to be in positions of authority. Hey, that's Lilith. That's a Lilith theme. Being considered an equal. Lilith is literally the all-time feminist. She's the lady. She is the equal equivalent to Mars. She ain't Venus, because we have Mars and Venus. She ain't Venus. Venus is, in comparison to Lilith, I mean, Venus was actually kind of, or Aphrodite, did have her bitchy side and was pretty competitive with other women specifically, but the difference between Venus, and going by myth, the difference between Aphrodite and Lilith is that Venus would suppress her needs if she was given love and given affection and was told that she was the prettiest girl in the world. And depending on that Venus, usually, or Aphrodite, it was enough for her. But with Lilith, you could tell Lilith all those things, you're beautiful and you're the best girl in the world, blah blah, but we're not equals, just so you know. Lilith would be like, huh, yeah right, peace out, see ya, bye, No. So Lilith asks to be an equal to Mars, basically. And I'm talking about this in Sinistry. So if you see any like Lilith Mars aspects, which I'll do something completely separate for that, that's her basically confronting Mars. Depending on what the aspect is, depending on what sign it is, depending on what house it is, you know, there's no good or bad aspect, honestly. Really isn't. Everybody has free will, and it's up to them on how they decide to let it manifest. So Lilith asked to be an equal to Mars. And if Mars is like, yeah, you know, we're on the same level, you know, like, I respect you, you respect me, we can take turns, like, blah, blah. And Lilith's like, yeah, I'm down with taking turns. Like, you know, I don't always have to be on top. You don't always have to be on top. Whatever. That's cool. I just want to make sure that we can take turns. Mars is cool with that. You got, like, a serious, healthy Lilith going on. Or you're feeding your Lilith in a healthy way. Whereas if Mars says, no, like I said before, he's basically saying, no, I'm always going to be on top. You're going to have to deal with that. And as long as I get off, if you get off in the process, that's cool, but I just need to get off. And you can get off doing something else on your own time. So, there's that. There was a quote that said, I wrote this down. Well-behaved women seldom make history. People with strong Lilith in their charts, which will be discussed later, are the women that were said no to, the women who were told they were not equals, the women who were denied of their power, denied of equality, and all of those little themes, who have, whether they've decided to by choice or not, but the women who are in power and the women who have overcome those experiences have transformed their Lilith energy in a healthy way to where they are channeling it in creating their power and owning their power. And I feel like people are afraid of looking at Lilith in their charts. And Lilith is your scary place. It's where you can be a bitch. I'm not going to deny that. But Lilith is also where you are a boss. It's where you're a girl boss. Like CEO of Nasty Gal, girl boss. I want to see her Lilith. I want to know where that's at. Like, for real. I want to know where it is. Tina Fey probably has a strong-ass Lilith. I'm just naming strong women right now. I want to know where Jennifer Lawrence's Lilith is. I want to know where Rihanna's Lilith is. I want to know where... I should probably even know where their Liliths are. Sarah Jessica Parker, I know for a fact because she also has Lilith in Capricorn, as do I. But in a different house. She has Lilith in Capricorn in her 10th house. And for her, she is control of her money. She is in control of her materials. She is the authority on her money. Don't fuck with her money. She's not like, it's not like that she's greedy of it. It's that she needs to be in control of how it's dispersed, especially when it comes to her career, 10th house status, public image, because in her upbringing, and I'm pulling this completely from memory, she had to somewhat, I believe, provide for her family in some way. She had to get a job at an early age, and money was not spent in a wise Saturn Capricorn way. Therefore, now in her career, with her money in her life, she controls the finances in the family, in the marriage. That's where she needs to be on top, or at least be able to take turns with being on top. So there's that. That was 10 minutes, 11 minutes. Oh my god. Well, hopefully I'll make this better. But if I do end up like posting this as like a mini segue to like the main feature of like what Lilith is all about, I did this because I was so legitimately inspired to spread the word about Lilith. I have Lilith in the 3rd house. Spreading the word about the female raw power. Literally, there's my own personal interpretation for my own. Lilith in Capricorn in the 3rd house. Amongst other things. But yeah, more to come with Lilith, because she needs to be reintroduced as the badass bitch who will rock your world in the best way possible. Toodles. Not toodles. Alright, more to come. Yeah? Okay. Bye.